Hi. If you've been sewing masks for friends and family like I have, you may have run into the same problem, which is that masks don't always fit. Sometimes they're too large or too small. But when looking into the problem, what you may discover is it's really the elastic around the ears that's too large or too small, not the mask itself. So to solve that problem, we've designed adjustable tabs for the elastic that can be sewn into the mask. These are 3D printed and made with TPU, and you can download the plans for this on Thingiverse. This allows you to then insert the elastic and it's completely adjustable and customizable per person. So today I'm just going to show you how to sew those in. If you're using the standard pattern that most are using, you have two pieces of fabric, 7 by 9 inches, with right faces together, and you're sewing a seam all the way around except for this small area here where you're going to use to turn it. Usually we pin the elastic into the inside, but in this case I'm going to show you how to use tabs instead. Also, in my case, instead of using two separate pieces, I took one piece and folded it in half. That saves me some sewing because I don't have to sew this seam, and also some material, because remember, you're not losing this extra ½ inch over here on the edge. So what I found is that in order to get these tabs in place, they don't pin in place that easily, but it's really fairly simple to sew right up to where they go. And remember, because the right side is on the inside, they're going to go inside right through where you're going to be sewing, and then the tab will be sticking out, which will be just fine because it'll be on the inside once you turn the mask. Okay, let's get to sewing. So the first thing I'm going to do is place my cloth where I can start at the first pin, or the second pin in this case. Once I have it in the right spot, let me get this out of the way. Down, I'm going to back up about 3, and then go forward. That locks that section so that when you turn it, it's less likely to tear. I'm just moving nice and slow right now to make sure you have a chance to see how this is going to work. What I want to do is just sew a straight line until I get to the point that I'm going to turn and go down the other side. That looks about right. Let's see. Yep. So I flip that like that. I take one of these and I slide it in, lined up so that my needle will go across near the first row. The first row, or close to the first row, doesn't have to be exact, of my dots. Place that back down. So now I'm going to continue on, going slowly across. Now you could go backwards over this again and secure it more, but when we do the pleats and the mask, we'll be going over it then a second time in a different spot, and that will strengthen it. So we're going to move down this side until we get close to the other side edge where we're going to insert the second one. Okay, I'm going to pause it for a moment. Take my next tab, lift that a bit and slide it in. Again, I'm just going to eyeball it to get it lined up with where the needle should go. If you really want to be precise about this, especially when you first start doing it, you can always count the number of holes to have it lined up. But you'll see it when you do these, it should go smoothly right up through the needle, right in through the holes. Sometimes it makes a little noise. On this side though, because I won't be going over it again right away, I'm just going to end it right there. Okay, now let's just do the other side. Put the needle down. Let's go back and then go forward. You can use your fingers here to hold it nice and straight. And remember, before you get to the end, that you're going to want to be prepared to put in the second one, the second tab. Okay, so I'm going to slow it down now. Get my tab. And remember that I'm going to have a seam on this side, not like the other one. So let me slide this in, because I'm planning to sew just to the other side of the plastic. I'm going to stop and turn it again. And I just sew up to this pin, which gives me the spot for turning. And again, I'm going to go back 3 or 4 stitches. And okay, let's take a look and see how this turned out. So we're just going to turn this inside out. Pull the tabs a little bit. There we are. Okay, so now I have this iron nice and flat, and this part is standard for all the mask making that most people do. You're going to make some pleats in it. I usually make 3 pleats. Some people just do 2, but it does depend on the size of the mask and the person you're making it for. I try to make mine to where usually the total width at the edges is 3 inches for men and maybe 2.5 inches for women. Usually, probably most people are using pins for this. I find the pins really hard to work with, hard to get in and out of the fabric. So I've just started using bobby pins instead. I just make sure I pull them out before I get to the sewing portion of it. So I can make my 3 pleats like this. And then I'm going to measure to make sure at least that both my sides are the same length. So I've got one side here that is exactly 2 3/4 inches, and this side is 2 3/4 inches. So I think that'll be fine for this. I'm not going to fuss about it too much, because like I said, the main thing is that the elastic on the side is going to be adjustable. So I'll just put this in place. I tend to run this right along the edge. Put this in. I'm going to go back over top of the tab for 3 stitches back to the edge, and then forward again. Take out that first bobby pin, holding this tight. Second one. Third one. And like I said, I'm going to go all the way through to the edge so that I can go through the plastic tab a second time. And I go backwards over it again too. That way it's nice and secure. That's one side. And the other side will be exactly the same. So the advantage of sewing 4 tabs instead of just 2 is that now you can adjust it if they choose to go all the way around the back of their head instead of just around the ears. The only thing left to do is to sew this up, which I normally hand sew, and insert something to make a flexible bridge go over the nose. So I hope you find that this is helpful. Have a good day. Bye.